Welcome back to My Frequency. Today we're going to be talking about some things that you can do in your 30s and 40s. Yes, I said 30s and 40s. A lot of times people focus on the 20s, but I feel like the 20s is when you party and you kind of get your fun out. Your 30s, you start taking things more serious. Your 40s is kind of like that second round, just in case you miss it in your 30s. But let's get into it. First thing to know is don't work with anybody that is an a-hole. And you know what that word is. So if it's somebody that you know that y'all just don't click, or they're not really a good person, or they're not of good character, don't waste time working with them. I've had that experience before, and let me tell you, it's a dead end. It goes nowhere. Don't waste time. Avoid taking the shortcuts. When you take the shortcuts, it feels good at first because it feels like you're really getting somewhere. But then you come to a point where you realize, okay, I'm not really getting anywhere efficient. Nothing's really happening that's worthwhile. And I'm going to pretty much have to do this process the right way. So avoid trying to take the shortcuts because it's not going to get you anywhere. Go ahead and do it hard. If it's hard, do it hard. If it takes a long time, do it long. When you do it the right way, the point is, in the end, eventually you'll get to where you want to be or where you need to be. Know that you're not the main character in other people's stories. So sometimes we could be so caught up worrying, like, what does this person think about me? Or how do they feel about me? The whole time, they're human. They have their own thoughts, their own insecurities, their own problems in life that they're trying to get through, that they're trying to get past just like you. So in their head, they're their own main character. They're thinking about their lives, what they could do to make their own lives better, or to improve, or to work on their own insecurities, or just to even deal or manage their own insecurities. A lot of people get focused on their resumes. What do you have on your resume? Is it a good looking resume? But these days, people aren't necessarily looking at your resume. They're looking to see, what have you built? What have you created that is effective? What have you built that somebody can reference back to and that they can look at and be like, okay, this is worthwhile. This person is actually doing something and they're putting in the work. Don't underestimate what you're building. You may say, oh, well, it's not a lot. It's not this. It's not that. Just like these videos for this YouTube channel. Some of them may not have a lot of views, but I can take this because it's something that I'm building and I'm creating, and I can say, this is what I do. This is what I'm working on. I have the ability to show proof that this is what I'm serious about. As you see, the consistency is picking up more. So whether it has a lot of views or not, it's something that someone can say, okay, well, she's serious about it and she's actually doing it. So, you know, yours may not be a YouTube channel. Yours may be something else that you built, but that is worthwhile. Talent is overrated and persistence is underrated. You could be the most talented person in the world. And when I tell you I'm one heck of a talented person, between drawing, between knowing how to do hair, between knowing how to write books, I mean just jack of all trades, right? And for so many years I would wonder, why can I get ahead with all these talents? But at the end of the day, if you're not persistent, if you're not consistent, and you're not putting in hard work, it doesn't matter. You could be the most talented person in the world, but hard work and consistency beats talent every day. Know that action beats planning. So you can spend years and years planning, but if you're not putting your plan into action, if you're not getting that actual real life practice in, then what does it matter? It's like when you go to school for something, right? So when you go to school, you learn the basics of how to do that thing. But then when you get out of school, you actually have to go into the real life experience. So it doesn't matter what kind of schooling it is, whether it's to be a lawyer, whether it's to be a hairstylist, whether it's to be a teacher, that real life experience is going to come once you get into the setting. So you can't just, it makes no sense to get out of school and be like, well, I'm going to wait until I'm a professional at it. No, go ahead and jump into your field, jump into whatever it is that you're doing, whether it requires school or not. Jump into it, get that experience, put in the action, put in the time so that you can see what the mistakes are and you can make the corrections as you go. And that's how we learn, by making mistakes. Don't waste so much time being skeptic about everything. Don't waste so much time about being distrusting. Like you're like, will this work? Will this? And you have anxiety to the point where you don't even do it. Like I said before, go ahead and do it because you won't know until you actually do it. Be open to new ideas. If you're a cup that's already full, it's nothing that anybody else can pour in that cup. If you're a person who knows everything, you got everything figured out, that's not going to get you through life, right? So, you know, having experience when you're in your 20s and you're fresh, you're like, okay, you have an idea about how you want to live life. But if you're so stubborn to the point where you can't be told anything, you can't be taught anything, you'll get in your 30s and your 40s and notice that you're still in the same space. So what I like about the 30s and the 40s mark is that, like I said, you've experienced those stubborn phases in your 20s, or you've had that time to play, you've had that time to kind of, dabble in life. It's the point right after childhood, where from 18, 20 to 30 is like that time. And if you are a very motivational, very inspirational person and a self-starting person, hopefully you were able to do some of these things in your 20s. But if you weren't, I don't want you to get discouraged, because a lot of videos are targeted for people that are in their 20s. But if you're in your 30s and your 40s, you can still do what it is that you set out to accomplish, or that the goals that you have. So it depends on how you look at the cup. If you look at the cup like it's half empty, I'm too old to do this, or I'm too old to do that, then that's what it's going to be. So even if you're 50, you're 60, you're 70, as long as you still have breath in your body, you still have a chance to do something. You still have a chance to accomplish what those dreams are that you had, or that you have. You got to move around and exercise. So when you move around and exercise, it makes you stronger, it makes you happy, and it makes you healthy. Don't continue putting stuff in your body that isn't good for it. Just taking a walk and actually getting up, like the thought of it can be maybe dreadful at first if you're not a person that exercise, but when you actually get into it and you start moving, like sometimes when I'm really upset, or I'm having anxiety, or I'm mad about something, I will do a whole bunch of jumping jacks. I'll do like 20 to 50 jumping jacks, and guess what? By the time I do them jumping jacks, I don't even have energy to think about what I was mad about before, because now I'm tired, or now I'm, I feel like I've done something. So it's like, let me catch my breath. And then when I come back, I'm actually a lot calmer. So exercise, move your body. That's one of the number one regrets of older people, that they don't take care of their bodies, and they don't do the things, in their youth that they wish they would have done. So a lot of people, back in the day, people didn't realize what the foods and what it was doing to their body. But now we have more information on that, and we have knowledge. And it's up to us to take advantage of that, and to learn, and to introduce ourselves more to the things that we don't know, because the knowledge is widely available. So we are responsible for that. But move your body, exercise, treat your body well. You treat your body well sooner. Like, let's say, okay, you may have messed up in your 20s and you didn't do exactly everything that you needed to do. But guess what? Your 30s, your 40s, turn that around. Teach your family new habits. Teach yourself new habits, because you still have time. Then there's Hofstadter's law. So things are not going to always happen as quickly as you think. You may put a time frame on something, and you may say, okay, this is going to happen in this amount of time. Like for school, you could do that, right? So through middle school, there's going to be this certain amount of time. Through high school, there's going to be 4 years. And you can attach a time to that. But when you're working on goals outside of traditional school setting, there may not be a time limit. And I think that can frustrate a lot of people, because they put a timing to something, and then when it doesn't happen in that amount of time, they give up. So the best thing for that is snatch the time thing away. When you snatch the time thing away, that also eliminates the age thing. Oh, I'm too old for this now, or I should have did it when I was younger. No, snatch that stuff away. That's the time element. So snatch that away, because know that whatever you're working on, it may take twice as long. It may take 3 times as long. But the most important thing to commit to is the learning experience. Commit to the experience, commit to the learning, commit to that part, instead of I need to have it done by this amount of time. Like when you commit to the journey, you'll find that you enjoy it so much more, and it's so much easier. It becomes a little bit easier. Last but not least, ask for advice. Instead of feedback, ask. Point is, if you don't know something, or you're confused about something, it's okay to ask. Sometimes we're scared to just ask. Like if you don't know, like how else are you going to find out? Don't be afraid to ask anybody. 9 times out of 10, you'll find when you ask somebody, they'll actually be happy to help you. And if you're not, the worst that they can say no, but guess what? There's like a billion other people on this planet, and at least one of them will be like, yes, I don't mind helping you. The information is widely available. But just aside from getting information off YouTube, don't be afraid to ask in person, because what we don't know can actually hinder us. So don't be afraid to ask. I hope that you guys enjoyed these tips of things to do and to be mindful of in your 30s and 40s. Until next time, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Peace, love, and blessings.